Hi again, welcome to my latest video. Well, in this one I'm going to have to fix my new editing rig, believe it or not. This machine has been assembled for just under a year, probably about 11 months, where it's been all together as you see it here on the screen today. But I've only been using it for maybe about 2 months because I needed that time before that to get all the software loaded on it. Well, within a couple of weeks of being used on a regular basis, it sounds like, and I'll put the microphone up to here, the actual AIO pump has actually died. The actual pump itself in this Cooler Master AIO. Listen to this. So that's with the microphone up close to it. And let me stop the pump using what I have on the screen right now. In the corner of the screen is the BIOS being recorded as I'm playing with this. I'm going to stop the pump and we'll see what happens. So as you can see, the pump has stopped, the noise has stopped. The light green line is showing the fan speed, which is down to 0, or the pump speed in this case, and the temperature is being recorded in the white line, so the temperature is rising steadily. So let me turn it back on and we'll be able to see what the difference is again. I'll put the microphone back to the pump. And the noise is back now that the pump is running. It seems to wait till it gets just over 2,000 RPM before that happens. When it's below 2,000 RPM, the noise actually stops. So I'm going to replace this particular AIO with a Cooler Master one that I have, that I just got purchased. And I noticed some questions from some of my friends about using Cooler Master, but I got a really good deal on it in Amazon, so I had to go with it. You know me. I try to do things on a shoestring budget if I can do it. And it has good ratings and a decent warranty, so we'll see what happens. So now, let me go ahead and take this thing apart and put the new AIO in, and we'll see if that makes a difference. As you can see by the screen, there is some roughness that's being recorded, even when it's running, which I think is part of the same problem. I think the bearings have gone in that particular pump for whatever reason. And I have it installed properly too, where that shouldn't be happening. So let's get started. Stick around to the end though, and you'll be able to see a lot more of how this actually runs, hopefully in a pristine state again. So here's the new cooler. I mistakenly referred to it as a Cooler Master in the introduction, but it's really a Corsair. It's a Corsair Elite Capellix. I'm going to open it up, take a look what's inside first to see how different it is from what's currently in there, so I can start matching up some of the parts to it. Well, standard safety and instructions. Obviously, I'll need the instructions as I go through it. But let me take it all out first. We've got the 2 fans, supposed to be high performance RGB. And they have connectors for both the fan PWM and also the standard RGB connector to it. Yep. So we should be okay with that. 2 of them. Supposed to be really high performance. I'll read the specs later on. And then we have the whole the main mechanism, right? Let's take a look at this a little bit more carefully here. It's got pre-applied thermal paste. The pump has a special connector on it, but it looks like it can go maybe different ways. It also has a standard fan connector, pump connector, it's not a fan. Standard pump connector, DC pump connector on it as well. I'm not sure about that, I'll have to look in the book. That might be just some supporting mechanism to it. I'll leave this cover on until I'm ready to remove it. I'll go ahead and leave the thermal paste that's there. Standard 25 millimeter radiator, 240 millimeters in length. Give it a quick inspection, make sure I don't see anything bent here. A little bit pushed over here, but nothing really bent. Okay, so I think we're doing pretty good. I can see right through it. That's an important consideration. Can you see right through it or not? And if I put a light or my hand lit underneath it, you should be able to at least see part of it down there. And that's important. I can see it better if I hold it up to the light. So that's the main mechanism. It looks like there's a tear on here. I'll leave that alone until later because this is supposed to be RGB. I believe it has to use a controller that comes with it. I'll take that out in a minute. Should be in the box. Let's take a look at the cabling. It's got this main connector to it, which I guess is the main pump controller and RGB in one. So it's a specialized cable. And it's got, I guess this is a single wire. Maybe it's a ground or an auxiliary that has to be connected. We'll see when I take the rest of it apart. Got to be careful with this, so put it aside in a nice area. Let's see what else is in the box. Oh, well, here's the controller. Take a separate look at this. Instead of a blue bag. It's got a double-sided tape padding to connect it up to the side of the case. Hopefully I don't need that. It looks like a standard 2.5 inch that I might be able to utilize one of the existing 2.5 inch drive connectors. We'll see. And if we take this apart, what do we got? Well, we got a standard connector for a SATA power connector. This one has a male end of it, which will go into the female end, I'm sure. That's how this thing is going to draw its power. And then it's got this connector, which is a USB connector. That's how you could control the software on it. So this is going to use one port of a standard motherboard USB. There happens to be a spare one in there, so that shouldn't be a problem. And then it looks like it can support like 6 fans. It's got the fan controllers here, connectors, and then it has the RGB connectors over here. So that's the way to go, I guess. So I'm going to go with the way this is designed in terms of wiring it. What else do we got in here? Oh, we got the bracket for the motherboard. Looks like there's just one. Hopefully it's universal and it can support different ones. It's got like a double-sided tape here to go on the back side. And then it's got different types of hardware, I guess depending on whether, well, this one says Intel 2011-2066. That's not what I have, so I probably won't open that one. This says Intel 11.5X or 1200. So this is what we'll be using, these screws, and then this one is the Intel 1700, which is not what I have. This particular system is an i9 9900K, which is going to use this hardware bag here. Let me start by disconnecting whatever connectors I can get to from here. I hate to remove all the cable management, but there's no choice when you got to do a job like this. Let me remove the pump first. Okay, I got some 99% alcohol here. Isopropyl. That's pretty good. I'm going to reach in there and do the CPU first. I'm going to go ahead and push in towards the center on the CPU first. Always push in from the edges to the center as you clean it. That way it doesn't go off onto the sides. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll do the same thing. I'll go from the center inward. Right there, that's pretty good. Okay, now let me get the screws off the other side here. I saved the last screw for the center at the top, so I'll do that one now while I hold this, because the whole thing will fall in otherwise. Okay, I had to remove one of the fan screws to get a cable, RGB cable, disconnected to get the whole thing out of here. All the other wires were fine. Okay, now it's out. I'll take the rest of this apart later. I don't have to do that right now. Okay, now let's install the new one. Got to start putting this bracket on the back. Looks like this is adjustable, so I'll have to adjust them to fit the holes properly. And then obviously the insulator goes against the motherboard. So let's turn this thing over and take a look. Okay, I think I'll put the hub right over here where this SSD happens to be. Take out this bracket, I don't need this here. Okay, I've got it all hooked up to everything. Let me go ahead now and power it on. I will try to capture it in terms of what's on the screen that comes up. I'm going to go into the BIOS first, so we'll see how that works. Let me start that. Let me power the guy on. Whoa, I see lights even on the pump. Let me go into the BIOS. There we go. 33 degrees is the CPU core temperature. Motherboard is 31. Let me see what the fan control says. I'm going to go into the pump. I'm going to hit the gear there and see what we got. Look at that. It's going about what? The pump is not showing RPMs because I don't have the pump plugged into the pump plug. But according to this, it is getting a TAC that's showing about 2200. That's CPU 1, the one that's listed CPU 1 on the screen there for fan control. So 2265, much straighter than it was before. So the pump is at least staying consistent. And the temperature looks like it's pretty good too. We're only 33 according to the left on the side. Let me see, do I feel anything? Let me put the microphone near here so you can see if it shows any problems. I don't hear a peep. I do hear my streaming computer, which is what I'm capturing this one on. Let me let it boot up and see if I go into Windows now. It's coming out. Windows, the Windows wheel. And there we go. We're into Windows. Let me log in. And we're in. Let me go into hardware info, okay? It is idle, but still, you know, I don't want to see anything that's out of the ordinary here. And we're at about, what? The cores are running at 32 degrees, 31 degrees C. Some of them are dropping down to 30 at this point. So that's not bad at all. Okay, so I think we're up and running on this. I'll call it a job. I'm going to go ahead and do the cable management of all of this. There's a few cables now that have been redone, including the actual hub on the other side. So I'll get that all straightened out, and I'll throw a couple of pictures of it at the end of this video. Thanks for watching.